Thokozani bogogo, thokozani ditsala, thokozani bomkhulu. Question: why are we at war with each other as healers? I think we need to understand something here. We are at a point where we are discovering ourselves spiritually. We are growing spiritually. And some of us are maybe finding it fearful. We are at a panic state. And because of that, they start trying to look at loopholes and trying to look at gaps and mistakes that others make. We are quick to look at the mistakes that another healer does, and then I post it and say, but then this healer is exposing bongaka, this healer is doing this, amasangoma aira. So it's like competition. There is a lot of noise that is happening within the healing practice. Yes, there are healers who are doing things which are very strange as a form of maybe seeking attention, or perhaps as a form of the spirit guides baba berekan lebone, because we must remember that our spirit guides are very different. Ba bangwe ke magosi ba ba ratang go dula ba le quiet ba sa bui. Ba bangwe they are quite outgoing and they want to be on a public space, and they will do whatever it takes just to get the public's attention. We are dynamic, we grow, we do things differently. Today, I'm able to heal you online. I'm able to divine through your energy, to connect through your spirit, through a video call, and I give you an accuracy to your ailment. Whereas before, it wasn't possible. So even with spirits, when things happen which are different from what we are used to, when we see things which are different from what we are used to, I don't think we need to be at a point where we are fighting each other so much. When are we going to focus on our own spiritual growth? When are we going to focus on our own personal self-awareness, on our own spiritual awareness, on understanding who we are, understanding our guides better, understanding our ancestors better, healing our lineage, and focusing on our path? Yes, I understand. There's a time where I also, maybe people may say, Marugogo, when you were posting about Gogo's Koteni. Yes, I posted about Gogo's Koteni because it was a matter of concern, because I saw it raising a lot of question, a lot of eyebrows, and I had my own personal experience based on that matter. There's a video where I related why I say I had a personal experience. Hence, I touched on that. It can be confusing, but what I'm saying is I'm not necessarily supporting all of these things which the healers are doing. At some point, I will also come up and say, hey, healers, why are you doing this? Yes, at some point, I'm also saying it gets to a point where Lena, it becomes something where I feel like I don't want to represent the Zangoma. I don't want to represent African shamanism, because it is becoming more of a disgrace than an honor. It's like we are in a rat race. We are in this dimension where everybody wants to show their power over another's power. And if you feel like you don't have enough power, you go after another. We threaten each other through imiti. We threaten each other through buloy. We threaten each other through iketo. Instead of uplifting each other, helping each other, showing each other the way. When another posts a spell or another posts a ritual to say, this ritual is going to help you, you will find others saying, hey, they're saying this ritual is helping, but it is not true. When another healer says, I'm posting this, which I am perhaps selling to help people, another one will say, look at this. Why can't we support each other? Because we are different. Why can't we remember that at the end of the day, our journey is to heal the community, starting with the self? The moment you start seeing yourself, looking at other healers, bad-mouthing them, looking at all those critical mistakes that they make, forgetting that you also make a mistake, forgetting that you're also growing at losing, forgetting that you don't know everything in the spiritual context in its entirety. So you could also make mistakes. The moment you start looking at mistakes of others, you must know that there is a lot of healing that needs to be done by the self first. There's a lot of things that you need to unpack from your heart, from your mind, from your spirit yourself, because you start looking at others as different. You start looking at the loopholes and the gaps and say, mina guess cutting it twice. Mina, when I was taught how to be a healer, mina, in my journey as a practitioner for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years. This has never happened. This is how we were taught in our own impandi, in our own culture. But you forget we are different. Another one will say, I've been hearing this one saying, people are trusting the foreign spirits. What about their own bloodline, their parental spirits? How do you know what journey they've gone through? Perhaps they've gone through their own bloodline spirits first, and Amandawe are also part of their bloodline, but not necessarily foreign ancestors. Yes, for other people, it may be foreign ancestors that they have adopted, but for others, Amandawe are their own bloodline ancestors. So they cannot ignore them. They have to work with them as well. For others, yes, it is bogus, mimicking spirits, manipulative spirits, which have been attached to people for them to believe that they have these spirit guides when they don't. It happens. That is why it is important to pray, to be patient, to pasha, and ask for power of discernment so that you know the spirit guides that you are working with, whether they are genuine or not. The moment you become so consumed with seeing the differences amongst yourself and other healers, the moment you start becoming so confused, consumed with wanting to pinpoint the mistakes that other healers are doing on social space, you must remember that you have forgotten your own growth. Some have dedicated their whole spiritual channel. They have dedicated their whole social accounts to saying, Zangoma, you are doing this. Sheila, you are doing this. Prophet, you are doing this. They are so consumed in that focus. What about your own growth? Why is it bitter for you? Why does it itch you each time you see other healers making mistakes? Yes, it is not easy to just look at it and turn a blind eye, because it is part of your practice. You have to honor it. You have to respect it. But at the same time, is that all that we are about? Is that all that we are about? Instead of showing the mistakes that others are doing, why don't we bring balance, show the mistakes that they're doing, and then also correct it by teaching the correct ways? Thokozani, I just thought I should share this.